but the Pac-12 is good high flying conference, and Fultz is the real deal. Right. Fultz is the real deal.
I just it was on my mind. I just thought I'd throw it out there to kind of see, what you guys thought about it. So it was just a little.
Yeah,
bit
no red flags for me at all.
Yeah.
No red flags for me at all. He's the consensus guy. He is a superior point guard talent. He's a scorer. He's. Yeah, you can watch him play and just go, that
and it's
guy.
going to be fun to watch him in Philly because that's a very young team that's up and coming. So
exactly, yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch. Can't wait to watch.
So I think we've discussed thoroughly our number one selection, unanimous.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely clear that it's Fultz, and clear from why the Celtics traded it, that he they said, look, this is the guy we want. We can get him at 3.
See, I think the Celtics looked at it and say the top 5 kids. They're all the same. I mean, they're all it's like you said, I got a guard here.
Right. Or they said,
look, I can move down to 3, get some extra stuff for possibly trades down the road, and I can still get a good kid that fits into my system and be okay with it. And I thought it was very smart by
So the Celtics didn't have much to worry about. They certainly weren't worried about the Lakers taking him. So, if they had been, they probably might have had second thoughts. But.
So you're all assuming then Alonzo goes second to the Lakers?
Yeah.
Is that?
I think it's. I'm just going to play the devil's advocate. I think it's probably Lonzo Ball. I think it's probably 95% Lonzo Ball. It was probably 90% before any of these trades happened, but they need a point guard. It's likely going to be Lonzo Ball. However, we don't know for sure. Because of the Lakers still wanting to trade, and maybe that they're not impressed and they're still trying to get there, they feel they need a point guard. But are they going to sit on too much? Are they going to lose too much potential value by sticking with Lonzo Ball at number 2 when they could get De'Aaron Fox or a Dennis Smith or a Frank Ntilikina?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's probably going to be Lonzo Ball.
Right.
It's for sure going to be a point guard if they pick.
Right.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think the whole UCLA, Hollywood, you got to put tickets, you got to sell tickets, which they don't have trouble doing. But I just think it's going to. I think
it's perfect. I mean, Magic loves the glitter. He loves the like you say, the star celebrity, the Jack Nicholsons and Diane Cannons, and he's the base is would start to get restless here. It's been 4 pretty miserable seasons, so he's got to do something to. They're not, I don't know whether they'll get into the 8th seed in the playoffs next year, but at least he's got to get somebody in there that excites the base, excites the fans, give them something to talk about, and
Yeah, I mean, as a Laker fan, Lonzo Ball going to help the offense. They're going to score. Not a great defender.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he'll learn a little, but he's not a great defender, and I worry, is he going to be the guy guarding Steph Curry? Or any of the point guards, for that matter, in the Western Conference.
And I'll tell you this much, coming into there, right, they're going to want to prove, boy, your dad really talked you up pretty good. And these big-time guards are going to want to go after.
Yeah, they're going to work him pretty good.
And it wouldn't be surprising that they'd take him behind, the door and say, look, here's the deal. You're a bullseye, and you better figure it out, and you better get better at defense because these kids are going to come after you big time.
That's right.
And and it is. I mean, these guys love to just put numbers up and start looking at the crowd and go. They'll have some type of gesture.
Yeah.
Big baller, and stuff like that.
One of the things when you talk about the measurables and things like that, Markelle Fultz, 6'4", 7-foot wingspan.
Yeah.
Great defender. Big, takes up a lot of space on defense. Lonzo Ball, 6'6", 6'8" wingspan. So 2 inches taller, but 4 inches less wingspan. Yeah. And he's going to have to move his feet and get better. But when you're a point guard and you're running the offense, you need to be fit. Mm-hmm. You need to be fit. You need to either guard, and if you're 6'6", you may be guarding their shooting guard. Mm-hmm. Their shooter.
Right.
In addition to a small, fast point guard. I worry a little bit as a diehard Laker fan that Lonzo Ball isn't the complete package. That's my only reservation.
Well, he came into those 2 workouts not in the best of shape. I don't think the Lakers were too thrilled with his physical.
And they expressed that just to
They
let
did.
them know. Like,
Yeah.
And what's funny is he went and worked out for Philly real quick.
Yeah.
Because, he's kind of, that's what I loved about
They
the whole
haven't
Magic.
promised him anything.
Yeah,
right?
they have not. And they said, hey, we got to look. And they brought in Josh Jackson again. They're like, yeah, this kid's looking pretty good, and they just made him think, But I agree with Vince. It's going to have to be a point guard. And because of just what happened with the Russell situation, you're now committed to a point guard. And I would, the way that he passes the ball and dishes the ball, and I think that's probably going to be the direction he's going to want to go.
I like his. I like the fact that he has good vision on the floor. He can get the ball to open guys.
Yeah.
He seems to be able to get his players into a scoring position.
And the shot's not bad from the outside. It's not
No.
bad. He had a okay 3-point percentage, but it is a unique, shooting.
Yeah, it's a release. It's
release
unique
that he
release.
has.
Yeah.
So, but and I think he's gonna have to work on that, especially bringing the ball from his chest up. It's very easy to knock out. But that's who I have. I don't know who you guys have for the Celtics.
Are we all in agreement on Josh Jackson? For
Well, I'll tell you
number
right
3
now.
for Boston?
I'm in agreement, but I think it could go 2 different ways. But go ahead.
There was a time when I thought that if you read the subtext of it, that if the Celtics didn't make a trade and they decided to pick Josh Jackson first, then what Danny Ainge said was, he actually was quoted as saying, is we can get the same guy, the first pick or the third pick. I think that all the bells went off that sounds like Josh Jackson. How truthful are any of the GMs at this time of year?
Not very.
And of course, if you have the first pick, you can get anybody. So yeah, you likely could get the same. So it wasn't Markelle Fultz because you likely wouldn't get him third. So they say they can get it. I'm leading a little towards Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Duke forward. That's where I think they're going with it. That's just me personally. I think everybody else thinks it's Josh Jackson. It's likely Josh Jackson, and most prognosticators. But I'm on the Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. It was a coin flip for me, and it came up Jackson, right? One of those things. But I mean, everything I've read is Tatum's the best pick in the draft when it comes to overall all the positions he can make. And I think he lacks a little bit of the 3-point range, but I think overall, I think he's the best basketball player in
all
this
around
this whole draft. So Vince, you can sell me on that very easily. I just kind of looked at it and said, this is a coin flip. I'll stay with Jackson.
Okay.
I think I read a little bit more about, in the mock drafts and stuff, Jackson was fitting in more with that system, but I could blink my eyes and just say Jason Tatum, just really simple in that. So it was just a coin flip for me.
But your pick is
Jackson. I put Jackson. Yeah.
I'm Tatum, and who do you think this?
Jackson.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to lead off, John, with number 4?
Yeah. So I actually went with Fox from Kentucky for the Suns. So I think that there's another point guard that's going to go. I think the Suns like this whole Kentucky point guard situation. I think he'll mix in great with Devin Booker down there in Arizona, and I really think he's a sleeper. I think he's really good at what he does. He knows how to run a quality team, and I think they're just sitting there licking their chops because everybody's probably thinking they're going to take Tatum or Jackson, one of the other ones, and I think they're going to take Fox, and I think the Kings are going to be bummed about it, to be honest with you. So that's where I went.
Yeah, and my feeling is that I think the Suns would like to get a point guard, but again, it's a very rich point guard draft. I think it's not completely out of the question that the Kings, who also have the number 10 pick, could try to trade up to get the point guard that to get De'Aaron Fox. So I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not going to assume that that's going to happen, but I think that could happen.
No doubt about it. But I just based my picks on no trades at all, just going 1 to 10. So yeah. But Vince, very good observation.
Yeah.
That could happen very easily,
Yeah.
and the Suns would accept that. To be honest with you,
Right.
You know.
So for me, the Suns have sort of coveted Josh Jackson a little bit. Need a point guard. I've been waffling back and forth on that pick, whether it be the Suns taking Josh Jackson there or De'Aaron Fox. I've finally landed with you on De'Aaron Fox. I'm saying don't be surprised if the Kings trade up and they get De'Aaron Fox, and then the Suns end up saying, look, yeah, we'll take Josh Jackson at 5.
Yeah.
But I think Josh Jackson is falling to 5.
Okay. Yeah, I've got De'Aaron Fox at going to the Suns also, number 4.
So at 5, I have De'Aaron Fox, but I have Josh Jackson because I had Tatum going to the Celtics. So I've got Josh Jackson going to Sacramento.
Okay.
So that's where my flip is, right?
At the 5.
I have
right.
Tatum going to the Kings.
I do too.
Yeah.
I have Tatum.
So I figured my whole take is I figured that they didn't get those top 3 point guards, right? So they're going to take the best athlete, best guy, and they're going to get Tatum, right?
Yeah.
I think they're going to be happy with that. And then what they're going to do in that 10th pick is pick one of these other 3 guards that are out there. That's my guess. So that's why I put Tatum or Jackson in that position. But again, going back to what Vince said, that whole trade could possibly happen, but I didn't base my stuff on any trade. So
okay, we are down to
The
Orlando,
Magic.
number
Yeah, the
6.
Magic at 6.
What did I do here? I took Jonathan Isaac.
yeah, it looks like everybody, the Magic are sold on this guy.
I think
They're
that's
gonna
the
get him.
consensus. He's
Yeah.
the best defender in the
Right.
draft.
Yeah.
He fits. He's from Florida State. He
It's a
keeps him in
natural.
the state of Florida. Yeah. 6'10" big with the 7'1" wingspan. He's by far the best defender. I agree with that. I think the general consensus is that the Magic will get him if he's still there. Would anybody else? I think the needs of everybody else there.
I think it's one of those things when the draft starts, they probably already got it inserted. They know they're going to get him, So,
the Celtics are sort of a wild card, since they traded down.
Yeah,
They've
got some options.
But I think
I
it's
think
like,
I think the Celtics are going to use any of their stuff for trades for guys that are already in their prime or already ready to go and have shown that they belong in the NBA. I don't think they're going to trade down to pick anybody. I think they're going to, if they trade anything, it's going to be future picks for somebody big,
Somebody established.
Yeah. So
I think we all agree it will be a surprise if Jonathan Isaac does not go to the Magic at 6.
Then from here on it starts to get it becomes very
a lot of
interesting.
got a lot of coin flips here.
Yeah. So
What do you do with number 7 there, Vince?
I think the T-Wolves will take a shooter, and the guy who's kind of considered one of the better 3-point shooters, Malik Monk from Kentucky there.
Okay.
Smaller but a shooting guard. Probably not going to get a huge amount of defense out of him, but I think that's where the T-Wolves go.
I actually went with the kid from Arizona. I went with them getting the 7-footer.
Markkanen?
Yeah, Markkanen. And just trying to build their, they got Rubio and the other couple.
Yeah.
The one thing that's the issue there is Chris Dunn. Their guard that they got out of Providence, I think it was, or Princeton, or I think it's Providence. He didn't have a very good year this year. So I thought one of the guards might have slid up into that spot, and that possibly could happen. But if they decide, hey, look, Dunn's our guy still at the guard position to help Rubio out, then I think they're going to go big. So I just went with the kid from Arizona.
Yeah, I went Markkanen also.
Okay.
Number 8.
This is interesting because the Knicks.
So
they've been threatening to move Carmelo, and they've been starting to consider moving Porzingis. Now they're entertaining offers for Porzingis. So if they're would they turn around? And so in my draft, Markkanen's still available. Would they trade a Porzingis and get a guy who's sort of similar? Markkanen's not a defender. He's an offensive. He's an offensive threat. He is a stretch 5. It's at 7 feet. He's apparently got a shorter wingspan than you would expect for a 7-footer, but he can shoot the 3. He can pick and pop. I mean, I don't know that the Knicks would trade. So, it's interesting. So I think it's very interesting to think that they could move Porzingis.
But I don't think they are.
Yeah.
But I think they need everything. I mean, you can just they're disheveled, right? They just need everything. I have actually Monk going there.
Okay.
So I think they just need more offense there. And he's a 39-40% 3-point guy.
Yeah.
So that's where I have him going.
Yeah.
And I just think but they wouldn't shock me if I don't think they're going to go after a big guy because I think Porzingis is there.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't shock me if they took a guard. They wouldn't shock me if they took a shooter. Anything. I just think they're going to throw it all on the table and go, who's our best guy that's available, and they're going to take it. But I think Porzingis is there to stay.
Yeah.
I think they're just throwing it out there just in case somebody bites.
Yeah, well, Porzingis was unhappy, so he walked out without having an exit interview.
Right,
He
that's
declined
true.
his exit
That's
interview. He's not happy, and Phil Jackson just seems like a doddering old man now. The way he's antagonizing Carmelo, and then sort of antagonized Porzingis,
And that's the other reason I did actually take Monk, because if Carmelo goes, who's their shooter, right? And they get somebody for him.
I think it's likely that everybody just stays. My pick for the Knicks there is a point guard, Dennis Smith from North Carolina State. Like I said, I think that in the top 10, there's 5 point guards going, and I think that once Fultz and Ball and Fox are gone, Smith is the next best guy, and in some cases, probably in other drafts, a value at 8 for the Knicks. So I like him there for the Knicks.
I think there's some heat on in New York. I heard Stephen A. on the radio this week,
question.
and he was just blistering Phil Jackson on what he hasn't done in his tenure in the front office.
I think the guy needs to retire. I mean, you're married now to somebody on the West Coast, and just
no, that's all over with.
Yeah, they're done.
They're done.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Oh, well, you guys TMZ. I didn't know that. So
no, but I think they'll take Monk.
Well, that was a smart move by her. Just to let you know.
Chewed her leg off to get out of that trap.
Oh boy.
She didn't want to have to be wiping his chin with a bib. You're watching him walk. That poor guy, man. It's like
He's the only guy I know travels with his own chair, right?
Yeah.
Or used to.
Yeah, exactly.
So, who do you have for the Mavs?
Number 9. I can't pronounce this guy's last name. The guy from France.
Oh, Ntilikina.
Yeah.
Ntilikina.
Yeah.
I've got him at number 9.
And I actually ended up going there too, due to the fact that, he's had success with international players there in Dallas, and they need a guard. And I just don't think, I could have seen Dennis Smith there. Let me ask you a question. Did Dennis Smith have some off-court issues at all?
I don't know.
Okay. I was wondering.
I haven't heard.
So I actually have the kid going there. He's established. He's playing international basketball.
Yeah.
He's young. He's like 19 years old. He's got a big wingspan, I think, right?
7 foot. Yeah.
And he can shoot. And I've heard a lot of positive things about that. And I just can see him going, a guy like Cuban going with somebody that's already established in international play, and they need a guard. So that's where I went.
So you're on Ntilikina, and I'm didn't have Markkanen going yet. So I think that's where the Mavericks pick up Markkanen. It's kind of like a Dirk 2.0.
Kind of replace him, when he's
and I like the idea of that for the Mavericks. But will they want a point guard instead? Who's their point guard? Berea? Who?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, he's 4 foot nothing.
But there's a log jam there. But I think if you can get a guy who can shoot and stretch the floor,
Right,
yeah.
like a Markkanen, who you guys already
he's
have.
like 6. Is he 6'5"?
Ntilikina?
Yeah.
6'5".
6'5", yeah.
Yeah. But Markkanen, the 7-footer, hard to pass.
I mean,
you
if you
guys
put
already got him
put
going.
him and what's his name on the floor together in Dallas, that'd be crazy. Twin Towers again.
Yeah, Nowinski.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nowinski, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got Markkanen going there.
So
right, number 10.
Yeah, so now that, I actually have Dennis Smith going to the Kings due to the fact that they took Tatum at 5, so they needed that point guard. So it was kind of a toss up, but I ended up putting Dennis Smith in that slot.
I've got Dennis Smith at 10 to the Kings.
And this
well.
is where we just flip-flopped a little bit.
Right.
Yeah,
I have Ntilikina.
Yeah.
But again, it looks like we all have 5 point guards
Yeah.
in them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, I actually thought about Zach Collins also in that spot in Sacramento, but I decided, they were so anxious about getting a guard in the 5 spot. So I'm like, they're going to want a guard in these first 2
they were a little
picks.
disorganized, I think.
So because I didn't give it to him in 5, I gave it to him in 10. So
Zach Collins is young, not huge. It's going to be a little while before he gets some minutes. I've heard projections where he could easily go in the top 10. I don't think so. I think he's going to not fall, but I think he's going to be
he won't be
out of the top 10.
Right.
do you think he could fall to 27?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
All right.
Absolutely not.
You guys have any ideas on the Lakers' 27th or 28th pick, whichever one it is?
Yeah, geez.
TJ Leaf, maybe? Another UCLA
Maybe.
Bruin.
Maybe. I don't know. They've worked out a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, they have worked out a lot of guys. It's probably going to be a shooter. That's what I'm
probably
guessing.
somebody that can fit in that 2 guard, right?
Yeah, or
or forward or shooting forward.
yeah, or or a 3.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting. That's you got to see how things shake out. That's why the Lakers have done their due diligence. They've worked out a lot of different players.
Yeah. You got to be prepared.
And now with taking back to back, they'll be taking it to 27 and 28 in the draft. There's a lot of different options for them.
Yeah, they've left the field open. While we're on basketball, let's talk a little bit about the Clippers